Yes. Welcome back to 3T's. Welcome back to 3T's, where we take the truth. All praise be to the Most High, the eternal, supreme, prime creator, who I call Yah. I love this topic because this is one I've been waiting to share with everybody since I've been telling them about all the horrible things that we went through and why we went through them and how we got to the point where we were, excuse me, where we got to the point where we were the tail and these other nations seem to be the head. They're not the head, but it seems that way because of materialistic things, money. They're not the head. Everything was all for us to learn a lesson. But this is good. I told you I'm on a powerful streak right now, and ain't nothing gonna stop it. No backbiting, no betrayal, no deception, no hate, no envy, no jealousy. I am not a narcissistic. I am not here on my own accord because the Most High knows how personal and private I am. But I got something to share with my people. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's start off with, you see the title. You see the title, right? That's what it's going to be all about. But I am going to cover a couple of other things before I get deep into that. And then afterwards, I wanted to do it to where I could merge this video that I made with it, but I can't find a program that will let me do it. I'm pretty sure there's something out there, but I just couldn't find one. So let's start with this. So, negativity surrounding the name Jesus. You know, before I knew all these other names, and I'm going to be this is my own personal testimony. I knew no other name but the name Jesus as the word of the Creator. And I used to always say, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, trying to get it to the Creator because that's the way the Bible described it. Not, I didn't learn it from man, I learned it from reading the Bible myself. So it wasn't a man who led me in a different direction. It was me, and my understanding was not there yet. So, but I don't knock anyone for calling on the name of Jesus because, truth be told, it's really not the name that matters because no matter what name we give him, it's not about the name, it's about a true call. If you call him with sincerity in the spirit, spirit to spirit, he'll hear you. Because when I called in the name of Jesus, he heard me and he answered. So I want people to not feel convicted when people are out here going against other people saying, "Oh, you're going to be punished for calling the name of Jesus. You're going to burn in heck and all that." No, you're not. The Most High knows our errors, and He knows who you're trying to reach, and He will lead you in the way if it's meant for you to know something different. It's not, like I said, it's not the name that really matters because no name given to Him on this earth is His true name. Even in history, they called Him Yahweh, and that's not His name. He never gave a name to call Him. And for His word, that's exactly what they said to call Him. The word of God. Okay? It's the genuine prayer to Him that He hears and answers to spirit to spirit communication. It's the genuine prayer. So be mindful to all the people out there judging others. You will be judged with the same measure. And if you judge your brother, especially to his original people, and this is written, you will be judged and your judgment will be multiplied. So I'm just saying, that's why I don't judge. I try to edify my brothers and sisters, but I will not try to judge you because I am not perfect and I have made mistakes. I still do things that I don't know if he's going to tell me I was wrong for doing them. I don't know. Some things are not anything he's going to look at. Some things are, but no one knows unless he tells us, he sends that information to us specifically and say, hey, stop doing that or lead you out of that direction. False image. In the book of Jeremiah, in the Holy Book, chapter 31, verse 3, the Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. So I remember telling this scripture. So I'm focused on love here, but some other things come up. So for all the people who feel like they're doing so much wrong, just know this, especially of the melanated people. You are the original people of the earth. You need not to worry yourself to death about how the Most High feel about you based on what the world is saying. If it's not in love, then it is not about the Most High. And I'm going to explain some things to you that hit a lot of key points that's going on right now. That a lot of people, even I've made some mistakes too, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not afraid to correct myself when I'm wrong. Now, in the book of the Third Testament, chapter 1, verses 3 or 3 through 5, it said, in the heart of man, an image had formed of a terrible God, capable of anger and the desire for revenge. So that when they believed they had offended him, they offered holocaust, or what they call race murders or destruction, and sacrifices in the hope of placating him or calming his rage. I tell you that those offerings were not inspired by their love of God, but the fear of a divine justice and fear of punishment were what inspired those first people to offer tribute to their Lord. The divine spirit they called only God, never Father or teacher. So he's telling us the people called on him. They never answered to him as they should have, as a father. They said that he was a God of vengeance, anger, and he said that wasn't him. And I'll get to that. Yah is love in the second book of Ezra. For all his people out there, because some of the people on earth are people, and some of them are not his creation, but they are the creation of man, but they still look like us. But they don't have a spirit. They may have a soul which is giving them life, but once they die, that's it. There's no rebirth, no reincarnation, no nothing. Their life is over. This is why a lot of them try to steal our organs so they can try to prolong their lives. We have to start putting this puzzle together. Just like he said, together we stand, divided we fall. And if we keep being divided and we're not correct, we can fall. So in 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verses 23 through 28, he said, and it's all, sorry about that, it's all compressed together. So I went to just the parts of the first 23 through 27. Ezra, who they call Esdras in the Apocrypha, said to Yah, "You have chosen one vine, one region, one lily, one river, consecrated Zion, one dove, one sheep, one people." And then he said, "Why hast thou given over the one to the many and dishonored the one root beyond the others, and scattered thine only one among many?" The Most High sent his angel to tell him, he said, "Are you greatly disturbed in mind over Israel? Or do you love him more than his maker does? You cannot discover the judgment or the goal of the love that I have promised my people. Don't compare." Second Ezra chapter 8:47 and chapter 9:13. He said, "For you come far short of being able to love my creation more than I love it. But you often compared yourself to the unrighteous. Never do so." I like when he said that because I know sometimes we make a mistake when we get called and we begin to start seeming as if we're comparing ourselves with other people. And we shouldn't do that because we can't. Not our brothers and sisters. We cannot compare ourselves with them because we all have fallen under the same fate on this earth. He said, "Therefore, do not continue to be curious as to how the ungodly will be punished, but inquire how the righteous will be saved." So let's not focus on raising the vibration for these devils, but let's focus on raising the vibration for our people. Yes, we're going to get into that, more of that, more of that, because it's very important that we get into raising the vibrations for our people because there are so many, so many, so many, so many, so many out here trying to steal our energy, and they're using our people to help them. So please get your motivation up. It's not going to all, when you're chosen or when you're selected, I don't say chosen, but when you're called on this mission, it's not easy, but we have to do what we got to do to maintain it. Yah is love. I'm going to, after I do this live video, I'm going to upload my video, Yah is Love, that I created in my song I made and composed in the book called Urantia. It's 251. God is love. Therefore, his only personal attitude towards the affairs of the universe is always a reaction of divine affections. Urantia 8:42. God is love. The Son is mercy. The Spirit is ministry. Urantia 56:10-21. Love is the desire to do good to others. So don't mistake love with interpersonally exploitative personality, narcissistic to be single worded, which is a person who takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own end, who lacks empathy. They're unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and the needs of others. They're oftentimes envious of others or believe that others are envious of them. They show arrogance. They're haughty. Their behavior is very arrogant or haughty, and their attitudes, and they are selfish in their own way. So be mindful. Love and mercy, Urantia 6, 2, and 2. The eternal Son is the eternal Word of God. And I'm just going to say it the way it's written so that people don't go back and forth. I call him Yah, but I'm reading it exactly how it's written. He is holy like the Father. So let's go again. The eternal Son is the eternal Word of God, the Most High Yah. He is holy like the Father. In fact, the eternal Son is God. Hmm. The Father's personally manifest to the universe of universes. Urantia 54, 4 and 6. The restraint of justice by mercy proves that God is love, and that such a God of love dominates the universes and in mercy controls the fate and judgment of all his creatures. So I remember saying that if the Most High didn't love us, first of all, the world wouldn't be here. I don't know if I said that in a video or if I was just talking to someone about it. I can't recall. Excuse me. But his right now, he's holding back his judgment. He's holding back the forces of nature. He's letting some pop out a little at a time to stir love back into our hearts. And if we don't get it right, they will be released. I don't even know if we're out of time for even trying to reconcile a better path at this point. So, as far as the universe, like you said, God of love dominates the universe. So, that takes away from the idolatry of the universe, which many seem to praise when they say, well, by the, what, how do they say it? Something, it's like praising a God. They're like the universe or something. I don't know. But everybody has a choice. And I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know, I'm pointing out certain things. And these things are not only in one writing, they're in multiple writings. Am I perfect and right about everything? No. I'm not judging no one. I'm just speaking what I'm finding. No love, no Yah. 1 John 4, 8 and 16. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. And we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. God is love. And he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in him. You got to know. You got to know God is love. It's so good to know. He's our joy life. He's a provider, protector, way maker. Let me stop. That's part of my song. It's gonna be on. I'll put it on there. It's encouraging to me. I do things to encourage people, not for attention. And I felt like the words is always a message when it comes to me. It's always a message. So don't look at me like the average bear, because I'm far from that. I actually care. I may not have the resources available to do all the things that I would like to do for people, but I do care. I do what I can. And right now, I can encourage and tell you the truth, no matter what. And when I could do more, I will do more. Divine love. We got divine love twice. Chapter 4 of the Third Testament, verse 2. It is divine love that illuminates and gives life to the spirit. So the children of the Most High have a spirit. Mm-hmm. Even the angels that fell, or the other spirits, because they were spirits just like us, the spirits before we were created and made a body, we all were light. And some things on this earth are not spirits. They have a soul and a spirit are a spirit is eternal because it is a part of our creator. A soul is something that either the angels or our people worked together to make, or one or the other made it and made like a clone of humans. It was just not like the creator made. So if divine love illuminated the spirit, why isn't the entire world enlightened? Why isn't everybody awake saying, you know what? Oh my gosh, let's turn this thing around. It's time to set it off, set this love thing off and remove this hate. Because most of the world, like he says in the Holy Bible, they lie, their mind lies in darkness. That makes it hard for them to see and hear the Most High. Others are complacent, comfortable with darkness, and don't want to receive him. So they reject his call. They reject the call of the Most High. Though this is true, as long as the earth stands, so before the last day, the Most High will continue to wait for his people to hear his call. So he's calling. It's just that some are not listening, so they don't hear him. He's calling his entire, all the people that belong to him, all that came from him on this earth. He is calling. Yes, he is. And everyone will be eventually going to hear it eventually. Either you're going to hear it here or you're going to hear it after your body dies. And that's what he says. Humble Yah. But this is based on love, so I'm not going to try to get deep into nothing else. Try to stay on the course. Humble Yah. Humble. Humble. Third Testament, chapter 4, verse 37. So the last video, I didn't say all those little points because my PDF was screwed up. So I went back and figured out how it got screwed up. And now that way, if the Most High inspires me to share this besides verbally, then I will, because he hasn't. And it has come to be that in the hearts, the idea had formed, and it has come to be that in their hearts, the idea has formed that none are worthy of looking upon, hearing, or feeling God by saying that I am too exalted to be approached by men. These seek to render me admiring homage, but they are wrong. They want to be accepted, but they're wrong. For he who says that I am too great to pay attention to something so small as a man is a fool who is rejecting the most beautiful of that which my spirit has revealed, humility. So we are being taught that we have to go through a man to reach the creator, which is not the holy truth. We can just pray directly to him, but to be saved, you have to have his word. So know the difference. But prayer, communication, building a relationship is something totally different and separate, actually. You know, rejection. Why then do those who believe all this reject my presence? Even though people have heard it and There's churches everywhere. People are talking about the Most High everywhere, all on social media, on the publics, on corners, everywhere. They have masses on, everywhere. Why do people reject his presence and his communication in this era? Why do they try to maintain that this is not possible? Because God is infinite and man is so low, so small, so unworthy, so they don't believe he's here. They don't believe they can communicate with him. They don't believe that he'll listen, he'll hear. He hears everything. He hears it all, every prayer. And I'll tell you about that. Truly, I tell you that who rejects my communication in this time is rejecting my presence in the world in that second era, and rejecting also my love and my humility. You, this was chapter 4, that was verse 40 and 41. You sinners, with an S, sinners, all of us know. It is natural that in your sin you feel distant from me. So if you feel distant from the Most High, then he's talking to you. If you don't feel that you can go to him, he's talking to you. He said, if you feel distant from me, you sinner, it is natural that in your sin you feel distant from me. But so he's saying he in turn feel the more errors you commit, the more you stay in your spirit, the more I need to come to you, to give you light, to offer you my hand, and to heal and save you. Sounds like a true God to me. So he's saying that it doesn't matter how low you are, that's the main place that he goes. That's what he talks about in the Holy Bible all the time. So I don't understand how we can get mixed up with all the other stuff. He always talks about love when he talks. Proof of love here and in the Holy Bible. So this is Third Testament, chapter 4, 38 and 39. What more tangible and human approach could you ask of me? What communication more within reach of sinful and carnal humanity, darkened of spirit and closed to understanding, than that through which I made you hear my divine voice translated into human speech? That was the greatest proof of my love, of the humility and devotion towards men, which I came and sealed, signature, sealed, and I prepared this. This is a funny thing. This was written since it was completed this earlier today. He sealed his love with the blood he shed on Calvary, so that you may have eternally before you that none is unworthy of me. So that you may have before you that none is unworthy of me. Because truly it was for those most lost in the mire, in darkness, and in vices that I came to make my word human and to spill the sap of my blood. So his blood was a mark and a symbol. And I've heard some people mention this, so it's not being nothing, I'm not saying anything new. It's been mentioned. I'm just basically repeating it. His blood signified love. It was a signature of his love, his signature. judgment, not vengeance. So the Most High is a righteous judge. He sends out judgment. He doesn't send out vengeance because he doesn't do it in anger. He does it in love. And hate sends out vengeance. But we'll get into who's of all these negative stuff that they put in these scriptures. I've already mentioned who it comes from. But I'm like I said, I'm gonna repeat the truth the same way these devils, even though he'd say they're not devils, but that's how we recognize them. As long as they keep repeating lies and deception, as long as I have breath in my body to breathe and a way to communicate with people that needs to hear truth, I will repeat the truth, even if it sounds like a broken record. Third Testament, chapter 5, 36. It is the spirit of truth that descends to unravel mysteries, to clear things up, and to reveal to you the knowledge necessary to enjoy true life. It is the divine comfort that is poured out upon your pains to give you testimony that divine judgment is not punishment nor vengeance, but rather a judgment of love to carry you to the light, to peace, and to happiness. Who remembers? What was that movie? Go to the light, Caroline. Oh my gosh, I am so silly. I'm trying not to think of the negative part of it because that's our flip side to this war of good and hate, or love and hate, good and evil. Spiritual doctrine. Third Testament, chapter 6, 41, chapter 7, 54, and 69. The great book of true life. What is that? What is the great book of true life? Well, we'll see. When the time arrives, you is 144. You will form a single book. And this book, that of the third era, will, when the time is right, be united with the book of the second and first eras. Many religions exist on the earth, but none of them will unite. But none of them will unite men nor make them love one another. It will be my spiritual doctrine that performs, this work. Many religions exist on this earth, but none of them will unite men nor make them love one another. It will be my spiritual doctrine that performs this work. Listen to what Christ, the manifestation of divine love, tells you. Peace to men of goodwill, to those who love truth and spread the seed of love. Now, when he said the book from the first, second, and third era will be combined, it's going to be titled The Great Book of True Life. And the reason why he said religion exists on earth and none of this religion, I mean, come on, everybody can see not one religion has united man. So he's not lying. Well, of course he's he's not lying. The words was not written Wrong. But he said, and I was trying to find, oh yes, let me look this up. Well, he said that when you separate the original texts, so when you take information, let's say this was a book written the first time that the Most High sent a message to earth, and the people right away wrote everything down, so it was fresh on their mind. They remembered everything, it was there, they wrote it down, and it became holy. And the moment you take that book and you split it into two books, it loses its power. You understand? So that's what happened here. The original knowledge that was delivered to us has been rewritten and retold so differently, so much that it lost its power. Oh, and the people who did this and caused this to happen, who sits in low but high places. I'm saying high because they're build big buildings and sitting in all these what you call in our lifetime expensive, which is not expensive, but this is the deception that we believe in and lift up in this world. So let's go with what the people connect or that they know. They live in high places. They stole our knowledge. They stole this information. They changed it. They cannot hold the truth in their hands and do what they do. So they would have to have someone else come, someone that they can boss around, someone who could be their puppets. You understand? They can't. Did you think they left his name for us to find out what his name is so we can call on it? Do you know in this book? Oh my gosh, let me see if I can find this really quickly before I continue. But do you know Caesar? What's it? Yeah, when Pontius Pilate was, questioning Caesar. I mean, sorry, when Caesar was questioning Pontius Pilate about the death of Christ, he had on Christ's jacket. Don't ask me how he got it. Because he gave it to him. That's what happened. He had gave him his jacket before they murdered. I mean, before he was murdered by the Jews or the people who he ordered this in your hands. He left it up to the people. There was power in his name. So even though he never gave a name, the name that the Jews decided to call him, there was power in it because the Most High acknowledged the name that they started calling him. I was trying to find it. Let me see. Pray for. And I don't want to let it go on too long looking for stuff because I didn't intend to say that, but it's right here somewhere. He said, what happened was when they spoke his name, it just caused a ripple in the room and it scared everybody because they all felt it and they was like, what the, like, don't mention that. Don't even dare mention that again because their hearts were pure. So judgment went out when he spoke his name. Immediately, judgment just went through the room, and they all felt the effect of his name, and they shut it down like, oh my gosh, like So they took his name out. Whatever name that our people called him, we don't believe me. If we were saying it, it would be destroying people right now, even us. Because there truly is power in his name. That's what I'm telling you. There's power in everything that has to do with him when it is aligned with holiness, when it is divine and pure, untainted. It is powerful. Yah's patience. Chapter 21 of the Third Testament and verse 49. If in divine justice the greatest love of the Father were not present, if in the divine justice the greatest love of the Father were not present, if his justice did not have that principle, humanity would not exist already. This is what he said. Their sins and offenses would have already exhausted the divine patience. But it has not been so. Humanity has continued to live. The spirits continue. I'm sorry, let's start over. But it has not been so. Humanity has continued to live. The spirit continues reincarnating, and at each step in every human work, my justice, which is love and infinite charity, has been manifested. So that speaks for itself. Like he said, if he was a God of vengeance, there would be no more humans. There would be no wicked angels or whatever they are. They're probably not even what we think they are. Some of them, you know. Whatever is on this earth with us that should not be, that was here before us, actually. Men are the original people. The melanated humans are the original people on this earth, but they're not the original beings on this earth. Remember, Satans were cast out before man. So they were here somewhere in the dark before us, in the abyss in their minds, floating around here, losing their minds, probably ripping each other apart like sick psychopaths. That's why they steal our people and steal people and kidnap people to drink blood and eat flesh, because that's all they knew. The Most High didn't embellish the earth until man had to come out here. Before that, it was a dry desert, darkness. You heard in the Bible where he said, I gave you a light, a pillar of fire. That's what that is. Before he put that out there for humans, it was all darkness. And the ones who came before us, they had to endure that. And that's why they became darkness. Okay? And why we maintain our hope is because he gave us a light. If he took that light, or if we would have been born into that same darkness and tossed into that same darkness, what would have become of us? And believe me, that darkness is quickly catching up to us. Yes, if you're not paying attention. Message. Let me stop. I'm not trying to be. I'm not. It's all love right here. Love and knowledge. 3T's, love and knowledge. Human justice continue. Now he said, chapter 21 of the Third Testament, chapter 21, verse 66, 67, and 68. He said, now you know that the divine justice is of love, not of punishment, like yours. He's cracking me up. What would become of you if I made use of your own laws to judge you before me? Whereas appearances, and false arguments have no value. He said, what would become of you if I made use of your judgments, of your laws to judge you? He said, because be sitting before me, appearances and false arguments have no value. If I judge you according to your wickedness and used your own laws of terrible harshness, what would become of you? What would become of you? Then you would certainly be justified in asking me for clemency or mercy. However, you should not fear. He always say that. That's why I'm like, when they talk about fear God, fear the Lord, I'm like, hold up. Every time he speaks, he always say, be of good cheer, be of good courage, fear not. Strengthen your heart, strengthen yourself. He said, however, you should not fear because my love never withers, changes, or passes on. On the other hand, you do pass on. He's so funny, but it's not funny, but it is. He said, you die and are reborn. You depart and then return. And thus you are journeying until the day comes in which you will recognize your Father and submit to his divine law. So we are our ancestors. So although that cuts out everybody saying pray to the ancestors, I'm not trying to point fingers at nobody. He brought this to me. I wasn't looking for it. He knows I wants to know the truth. So everybody like pray to the ancestors. You are your ancestors. Some may be held back, waiting to return again. I don't know. Maybe they already went to another level. But we are our ancestors. The spirit in us keeps reincarnating. Though the flesh die and we may look different, take on a new form of flesh, but we are our ancestors. We keep coming back until we learn. And I think it's mentioned in here. I should have put it on here. He said, needs love, needs love, needs love. Chapter 2 of the Third Testament, verse 6 and 7. This is what we have to do to not come back here. Until, there was only so much time for this world to end or for us to train. And if we can't train here, then we're going to be forced to go to the next level in whatever state of consciousness or conscience we have. And if it's good, then that's good for us. But if it's not good, you will suffer. And they said, and I'm going to mention that, that the spirit feels more pain than the flesh. I was like, whoa, I got to get it right. For real, though. He said, learn to love me. Behold, my love follows you everywhere, even though you continue to sin and offend me. You could never separate or flee from it, from his love. Know that the greater your faults, the greater is my mercy for you. So you remember when they say you can't separate from the love of God. I think that's in Romans. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. I believe that is in Romans. I was looking up that earlier. I'm not going to try to find it right now. But you heard it before. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. He's telling you that nothing can separate you from me. Why can nothing separate you from? Do you think that was just a statement made to encourage you? No, that was actually a very true statement. Why is it that nothing can separate you from the love of God? Because if you have a spirit and you're on this earth, you are a part of him. He took something from him, it exploded, and it made little pieces of him. And then they created a body, and he implanted that little piece of him into us. But us was the spirit before the body. So this is why the body doesn't matter except while we're in it, performing a duty we should be doing, which is encouraging our brothers and sisters in love and truth. The evil in men would seek to halt my love. I love his, I just love this knowledge that I have come across. I'm telling you, I just, the evil men would seek, so they do seek to halt or to stop my love, but cannot, because love is the universal force, the divine power that creates and moves all. Man, if it wasn't for his love, like he said, we wouldn't be here. There would be no need for a world. He'd just take his finger and flick it somewhere out of time. You've got to know. You've got to know the truth. Because right now, let me see how much time I have taken of yours. Right now, there is a lot of deception going on. And the coldest part about it is, my people. Now, most of these other nations have been working with their families. They have been learning about the Creator, and they've been on a lot of them are actually probably on the right track. But now they have tried to use the so-called white people to deceive black people, the so-called black people, back onto that submissive path. And it's not really working out the way they want it to work out. So now they're using our own people, leading them as blind sheep to the slaughterhouse. Because they're not going to tell you. Now, one thing about a devil, he's not going to tell you nothing that don't make sense to you. If he understands your way of thinking, he's going to use truth, real life situations. This is what deceptors do. They take knowledge, even though it has nothing in their heart about no love about things. They take truth and put it all together, and they have good memory because they've been lying for so long and deceiving for so long that they're good at trying to remember everything. And so it comes out so flawlessly and it sounds so good, but it be full of deception. So this is why I constantly tell people, be humble, be vigilant, get you some discernment, some understanding, and some wisdom while you're out here, because right now the portal is open for us, for you and I to get reconnected. And if you don't get connected before that portal closes, you're going to be lost in the darkness. Like he says, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm going to let him say these things because I see it, but he gave me a way to explain these things. That's what I love about my Creator. He throws things at me because I don't know everything. I don't know every word. I don't know every phrase. And I have so much information knowledge that he gave me. And I'm like, how am I supposed to explain that? Like, I don't know what to say. He gives me the words to put it all together. And that's what I'm doing. It's really from him. I had none of this in my mind. I didn't study it. He just gave it to me to share with you, just like he's given it to other people out there to share with you. That's why you should listen. If it doesn't sound like truth and love, then you move on. But you don't know who he's going to who he's going to speak through. That's the thing. We don't know who he's going to speak through. So you'll be denying him if you don't hearken to the right knowledge. And you will fall if you listen to the wrong knowledge. And I'm not talking about fall and, lose money or lose a house. I'm talking about fall in the darkness in your mind into that, I'm going to say this again, but I'm saying into that sunken place, like they show in that movie Get Out. That's so true. That's what he means when he says abyss. It's We'll get into that. Low passions. Is that still chapter 21 or 22, verse 33, 34, and 35? Humanity needs my love and my word, which must reach the depths of their hearts. The Master struggles untiringly so that your spirit may be more enlightened each day, so that throwing off ignorance, you may raise yourself to the higher mansions, so the higher levels in the spirit realm. The doors of my kingdom are open. See, I told you that portal. And the word of the Father comes to you with infinite love to show you the road once more. So, like I just said, that portal is going to be open for so long. Now, this portal it's been open for a while. We just didn't know. It's been open since he came. Well, probably after he shared that knowledge, it got spread around for a little while, and then he gave that time for everybody to connect once everybody learned who he was. He said, I come again to humanity, and you have not sensed me. So you have not sensed my presence on this earth. For I have presented myself in the spirit, and your materialism, your house, your car, your money, your sex, your drugs, your murder, your violence, your lies, your deception, your devices, your insecurities, because of your material. He said your materialism is great. Like it's so much. Your love for material is too much for me right now. If your spirit sprang from the divine, like I was saying, if it came from him, if your spirit sprang from my divine spirit or his divine spirit, why has humanity not sensed me? Why can't we feel his presence if we're of him? Because they have tied their spirit to materialism, to the lower passions. So we're so caught up in this material, temporary world that we don't even realize that he's calling us back home where we originally are from. This is not our home. Earth is not our home. We were not even created on this earth. The body was created on this earth. That's why it goes back into the earth. But the spirit originated from a spiritual place. That's in his kingdom, his spiritual kingdom, spiritual mansions. Third Testament, chapter 23, verse 32 and 33. Rebellious Hugh man. So true, baby. So true. And he always said in the Holy Bible, your rebellion, your stiff neck, your and it's true. Even right now, today, nothing has changed. Not much. Arrogance, rebellion, stiff neck, self willed, ignorant. I'm not gonna say everybody's that way, but oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Even I, stubborn. I've had a problem with being stubborn. I'm telling you. Yes, I don't deny my own wrong, so, but I'm not here to satisfy anyone's when it comes to what I've done right. I know my wrongs, and I'm not afraid to admit and face mine. So I'm not here to entertain no one with my life and how I am and what I do. I'm here to sing the truth, the things that are actually going to encourage, enlighten, edify, and lead our people back on the right track to love and truth. Then we can use our power that we got to destroy. Then we can use the power because we can't use it if we're not pure in the heart. And like you said, when two or more are gathered in my name. Like I said, I know I have power, but I'm only one. Where two or more are gathered in my name, in truth, they already know I mean, I got the power. I'm telling you. He said, "What? Man is the most rebellious creature in the creation because of his free will." What did I just say there? I said, we probably the main one. And he said, we are. Well, we're the most rebellious. I'm pretty sure there are probably other worlds that have some kind of rebellion, but he said man is the most rebellious because we have free will. So until now, he has not wanted to follow the dictates of his conscience. So because of our free will, we don't listen to our conscience, which is morality that teaches us, that actually literally speaks to us when we're trying to do something wrong. It's trying to stop us, and we don't listen. Well, my conscience did used to guide me as a child. I just did not know what that was. I wish I had learned as a child. They knew, I'm telling you, they know what's going on with us before, as soon as we enter into this world. So they get on it, attacking us from child. Our parents don't know, family don't know. Sometimes they even, like they said, recruit our parents to help keep us down. Yes, they do. It is true. It's true. They use not just parents, but they use all family, friends, strangers, all kind of people. They really do. They've been doing this from the beginning. My word comes to stop some, to guide others, and to strengthen all with the truth, and save them from the abyss, that sunken place, as shown in the movie Get Out, a place where your spirit is inhabited by another being, while your body is inhabited by another spirit, basically took control of your body, and you're stuck somewhere in there, in your conscience, in your mind somewhere, and you can't get out. You don't know how to get out. You're not fighting to get out. Get out. Those things we call demons. Have you lost in your own mind when your passions are so low, so connected to the spiritual world? And many people I see unhappy, and then they try to make you unhappy, you know. So I'm at a point where I'm like, whatever I gotta do to make sure I don't get left behind. I love you, I do sincerely, but I can only do so much. I'm late in the game. If I would have been here early and realized what was going on, I could have saved up millions of dollars. I could have helped people build places for us to all come together and learn together and study together and do things together. But that it ain't like that. It's not like that. Mm-mm. And they made sure it wasn't going to be like that. Yes. Hmm. Perfectly loved. So we know that man is most rebellious, right? So he said in the Third Testament, chapter 26, verse 8, and in the book of Corinthians 56, 10, 20. He said, while the human creatures argue about my divinity, my existence, and my doctrine, there are worlds where I am loved perfectly. The advanced mortals on a world in the seventh stage of light and life have learned that love is the greatest thing in the universe. And they know that God is love. So they know. How come we don't know? Love is salvation. Now, why is these devils out here trying to get our people to go to war? Now, I'm all for tearing down any wall that's hindering our people, destroying anything that's trying to destroy us. But I know how to think deeper than the surface, thinker than a quick tongue, think deeper than what seems on the surface to be a good idea. How can we fight a war? First of all, like I mentioned before, our battle our battle is not just with white people. It's with unseen forces that are controlling the white people for one. That's why they're being used. They are indebted to these things. And we have our own who are a part of this. They're betrayals. They're betraying us. And there's no way to scope who is and who isn't out. And we don't have nowhere to go because even in Africa, they hate or have hate for us too. They envied us because they felt we was living better than them, and we weren't living no better than them. We have no safe haven. We're not prepared for that. You can't just jump out of ignorance and hand a person a weapon. That's not the answer. Hate has never been the answer to any problem on this earth. If that was the case, we wouldn't exist because these other nations have hated us from the beginning and they have tried over and over again to exterminate us. And it's not just here in America. They just got the end of the stick with us. Or we got the end of the stick with them. So, I mean, it sounds real good when you feel you know a lot, but not looking at the wisdom in things. And I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just speaking truth, and I won't hold my tongue for it on any level for anyone. But the Most High is love, and it makes sense. And I can explain a lot about my life when it comes to that because I've always had love in me. I've never had a problem, and I haven't been, like I said, I have not been the perfect person, but He has been there every step of the way because He knew I had genuine love in me. I just had a bad way of expressing it sometimes because I wasn't shown it. So when I tried to express it, it was brutally honest, sound harsh, So people, just pay attention. I don't care if you are lost. The Most High has a piece of Him inside of you, so you can't be that lost. I don't care if you are in the abyss, like He said, even if you're in hell, which we are, I'm there with you. All you have to do is call on Him. You don't have to say anything out loud of your mouth. Say it in the silence of your mind. Most High, I need you. I'm lost. Help me find my way. Guide me to your light. Lead me home safely. You have to ask for it. And they taught us to pray out loud. You don't supposed to pray out loud. You're supposed to pray spirit to spirit. How do you pray spirit to spirit? In silence, in your mind, in your conscience. You know how you can hear your voice in your conscience ringing in there when you speak in your mind? He's in there. He hears you. That is not insanity. That is spiritual enlightenment, putting you on the right path. He's in there waiting for you because He's calling you. If you have not heard, listen. Love is salvation. Chapter 31 in the Third Testament, verse 59. He said, I come now to tell you, humanity, stop. Just stop. Humanity, stop. Humanity, comma, stop, period. Let the light of justice that comes from love extend over all the world. Let my truth persuade you that without true love, you will not achieve salvation. Okay? So like I mentioned in some of my videos previously in the past, when I said, don't think faith alone is going to get you there. You have to have works. You have to change. That's why He said, get on the path. He'll see us through to the rest. That's why I don't care. People can make the devil right now is trying to use people to come at all the people the Most High called with their smart comments, their sneaky comments, They're trying to say things inadvertently, but directly. They're throwing them at you, but inadvertently. None of that matters. Nothing. The moment you start letting what material or humans think, or let their thinking bother you, you are basically detouring yourself off the path that the Most High has laid out before you. Who is any man to speak against any man or woman on this earth, especially when the Most High is the one who calls you? Who? If the Most High be for you, what? You finish it. Who can be against you? If the Most High is for me, which He is, who can be against me? Yeah, I'm not a sinner. And I'll tell you what a sinner is. I have sinned. There's times where I probably would throw something out and verbally, but I don't practice sin that way. I'm not trying to anymore. That don't make me no different from nobody. We're all in training here. So if you think you got all the knowledge from the same people you claim to hate so much, don't feel that you're equipped to judge the next man, because you're not. 2 important precepts. Chapter 31, the Third Testament, verse 64 and 67. Christ made Himself man to show divine love to the world, but men are hard of heart and stubborn. That was me. sometime with that. They soon forget the lesson shown and interpret it badly. I knew that human would come to confuse justice and love with vengeance and punishment. So I knew they would do that, twist it all up. That is why I announced a time that I would return spiritually to the world to explain to humanity the lessons that it had not understood. All my law is condensed in two precepts: love of God and love of your fellow man. That is the road. How many are on that road? We know those that he has awakened are, because humble people usually are people who have love in their hearts, not proud people, boastful people, narcissistics, still hope, still hope. Let me stop. The third Testament, chapter 31, verse 73. See how many of your brothers await in the bosom of idolatry the coming of the Messiah. Yeah. See how many of your brothers await in the bosom of idolatry the coming of the Messiah. See how many in their ignorance believe that I will come only to discharge my justice upon the wicked, to save the righteous, and destroy the world, without knowing that I am among men as Father, Master, Brother, and Friend, full of love and humility, extending my charity to save, bless, and forgive all. How lovely is that? I had to come to understand that. Oh my gosh. Shoot. So 31, Third Testament, verse 80 and 81. It is true that many continue to stain their spirits, but do not judge them. So don't you judge. It is true that many continue to stain their spirits, but do not judge them, for they do not know what they do. I will also save them. It does not matter that they have now forgotten me or replaced me with false gods that they have created in the world. So all those who idolize, Buddha, the female god, the universe, all these are idolizing Jesus, idolizing. hmm He said, doesn't matter. Mm-mm. Them too I shall take to my kingdom. Even if, because now follow false gods, they now follow false gods or false prophets. I'm sorry. So now a lot of people are following false prophets. You got TD Jakes, what's that other one name? Benny Hanna or whatever. I don't even watch them. I did watch TD Jakes for a little while years ago. A couple of his shows. That's how I remember his name. There's a lot of mass churches. I mean, lots. I don't understand how a church can get that big and the whole thing is not saved. But it is. That's what's happening. But it's okay because, like you said, all will be saved eventually. I'll tell you how that's going to work too. So I'm telling you, I try to throw some good hope in there for everybody, but at the same time, you got to be very truthful with it. So the point is in this video is that he does love you, and everyone that came from him will be saved and returned to him eventually. It may not be right away, but eventually. So he's basically saying that false prophets, they have forgotten the gentle the gentle Christ who gave his life to teach them his doctrine of love. So when he came down to use the man to speak to the people, and his doctrine was all about love compared to what everyone had knew before that, prior to his coming, they didn't accept it, just like they're not accepting it today. But I mean, come on, it don't take a rocket science to know that love is the key, not hate. To the Father, no one is evil. No one can be evil because all were born from me. So the word is saying to the Most High, eternal prime creator, no one is evil in his view because they all came from his word, which is good. And they weren't evil when they proceeded from him. It's when they began to receive free will. Well, that's what he says. I granted my children the gift of free will. Thus, many of them have chosen to be rebellious, violent, blind, and commit mistakes. Okay? So it's not the Father, it's not the Word, it's the people's choice, it's the Spirit's choice. Elevation time, chapter 38 of the Third Testament, verse 41 and 42. Some will call this new time the era of light, others the era of the Holy Spirit, others the time of truth. And I say to you, it will be the time of elevation, the time of spiritual recovery and revindication, or to demand and take back. So, a period of revindication could be a time to demand things and take back things. This is the era that I have long wished to live in the hearts of man, but has been continually, which has been continually battled against and destroyed by man. So he's been trying to get into the hearts of man in this era, but because we've been abused so bad in our hearts, have a lack of love and caring, it's hard to reach us. A time whose clarity is seen by all, and under whose light all the children of the Lord are united, not in a religion of men that chooses some and reject others, that proclaims its own truth and denies that of others, that employs unworthy weapons with which it imposes itself or used by force, or that gives out darkness instead of light. So this is an era where he wished to live in man's heart, but the heart has been destroyed by men, battled and destroyed by man. They have confusion in religion. People pick and choose truth is thrown away, deception and lies pushed to the foreground. People want to kill with weapons instead of knowing that you have a power to kill spiritually. And I'll tell you about that. And it makes perfect sense if you pay attention. This is not to, I'm not a teacher, I'm a messenger who is given the understanding to explain certain things to people. It is love that's going to win this one. Nothing less, and everything else is less than love. Love is the key to this video. Language. Third Testament, chapter 60, verse 25. I give you one language only with which to extend my word, and that language is spiritual love, which will be understood by all men. Excuse me, justice. Third Testament, chapter 61, verse 100. Certainly, God is love, and there is no fault so grave that he will not forgive it. But you must know that it is from precisely that same love, divine love, that his inexorable, unforgiving justice proceeds. So his inexorable justice proceeds from the same love. you know, so he loves you, but he have to chasten you if you don't do right. Like a father. I mean, come on, we are in his image, not because we're dark skinned. Even though he came down into a dark skinned man, he was not the word on the flesh. He was the word in spirit. Okay. I know people don't want to hear that because of, oh, pray, but I'm headed down truth lane, not being deceived me lane, and I'm not here to deceive nobody. And it doesn't. It's a lot of things will make sense if you sit down and pay attention to what's happening. I don't watch the news. How do I know all this stuff is connecting? Okay, I'm gonna show you how it's connecting too. For someone who's not a part of the world, I only spent a little time in the world to go to school for a little while, to work, but and to hang out with my family. But besides that, never really been out in the world that much. Never paid to follow politics. Never followed the news. Never followed no one or nothing. Stayed to myself. Focus on what I liked, what I wanted to do, not knowing that I was being attacked the whole time, wondering why certain things was going on. But we'll get to that. I'll show you about all that, especially to my people out there who is enduring things and who felt this way since they were growing up. I'm here to tell you the truth, my people. I'm sent to tell you the truth. Don't deny it. Charity, Third Testament, chapter 63, verse 120. Love speak when you should be quiet, when it is appropriate. To no one say that you are my chosen. Flee from adulation. Let me say that again because my mouth is drying up. Not because of me talking, because other things going on. Flee from adulation, flattery, and do not publicize the charity you do, but work in silence, okay? Testifying by your works of love to the truth in my doctrine, okay? So we move like ninjas. Human destiny, third Testament, chapter 63, 121. To love is your destiny. Love for you will thereby cleanse the stains from both you, I'm sorry, from both this and your previous lives. So that means love is going to heal us. Love is our salvation. Love will get us to ascension. Do you want to die and be miserable in a mental abyss where you are stuck on this earth but in the spirit? You can't party, you can't sex, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't do anything that you would want to do. You will still see and feel everything, but will not be able to participate in it. And they won't see you. And I didn't think that was possible until he told me it was. Yes, those spirits are hanging around here. I told you that they were, some of them were people who died. They're demonized because they're miserable, because they can't go higher than this earth. And now they are in the abyss, in the darkness, not in his light. Okay? You heard Tina Marie say in her song, I don't know if anyone listened to Tina Marie, but my mom used to play Tina Marie when we were children. And she used to play this one song all the time, I've been here before. And as a child, I always remembered that song. And one day as an adult, when I listened to it, I'm like, I felt it, like I understood her. I knew what she meant. She actually meant exactly what she was talking about. She had been here before, and she started realizing and knowing that she had been here before. And she put it in a song. That's why she was like, I'm young and I'm old. Like, she's young because she was here now in this time, but her spirit is old. She's rich and she's poor. She was on the earth, probably going through some things at the time, but she come from a rich place. She knew that was the Most High speaking through these people. The Most High been speaking, like he said, since the 1866 he returned. He began to teach in 1884. The people started receiving his message probably, and they said the work was complete in 18. I'm sorry, was complete in 1950. So after that time, that's when they started sharing this information with people in 1950. Yeah. So why they didn't get to us? Because we were barely out of slavery over here in America. Some of our people. My grandma come from Mississippi, where you know there was racism and slavery happening in America. So there's been messages. There's so many songs that I had wrote down. These devils just be messing up everything that I try to show y'all to show you the comparison. But I love that our people, I love the way, especially our men, when they got their wisdom in order, how they line up the world with the scripture and they show you the prophecies that came to life. They show you this stuff and run down this parallel road. So that's the same thing I do. I try to paralyze. I don't, that just sound bad. Parallel walk a parallel path, spiritual and this material, showing you both sides to make a clear understanding, to bring clarity. No enemy, Third Testament, chapter 63, verse 128. He said, do not see anyone as an enemy, but see all men as your brothers. So if they are a man, they are your brother. And I'm going to tell you how, because he explains that too, but I didn't put it in here because I'm putting things accordingly. So this is based on love. So I'm just showing you, throwing certain things in there that would pertain to that. He said, that is your mission, to see all men as your brother. If you preserve in this to the end, justice and love will triumph on the earth, and it will give you that peace and security that you so yearn for. And I'll tell you more about how that is so true. And I'm almost there. I know this is, Lord, I thought I was going to be like 30 minutes. It never fails. But hey, truth takes time. So remember, do not call anyone your enemy no more. I'm gonna have to learn how to not say that because I'm that's what I I'm like, our enemy. So you know who I'm talking about. They not our enemies. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them could possibly, like I told y'all in a video, not the last video, but a video before that, and I said, hey, I mean, I don't hate them anyway, but I don't agree, and I do feel like they deserve judgment for what they have done, and but I feel like I felt like there was some connection with them as being our family. So I'm like, I can't hate them. It could be our family, and we just don't know because we're all ignorant to the truth of everything, you know. And we're starting to slowly get back to that truth. one and the same. Leviticus 19:18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudges against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Love your people as you love yourself. That is a powerful thing to do. Truly, in order to do that, you really have to love. And I know, because I love people like I love myself. It's more. Always have. That's why I don't lie to people. It may be harsh, but I don't try to hurt you or anything, but I just try to be honest with you so you can be honest with me. If I'm able to help people in a serious way, a beneficial way, surviving way, I will. You might get some lip, depending on why you ask me, but I will. Yeah, I will. That's how me and my sisters are. Well, that's how we grew up doing things like that, and I like doing that. I like being that person. I'm a giver, but I'm not ignorant or dumb about it either. So I don't just give anymore to just anybody. I used to, but not anymore. I want if you're in need, and I got it. Yeah, we talk about it. See if it's real or not. Testament, chapter 3, and I don't know what verse that was. I guess I didn't. That one probably didn't go on there because some of them be acting like when I converted my file, it removed some of the numbers. Well, it's chapter 3 and chapter 31, verse 91. So, although God is all power, you must realize that He will not impose His will on humanity, nor utilize His power to triumph over man. The only power God will use is divine love. For the moment shall come, O Israel, when all the Lord's creatures glorify me for eternity. I will cease to be, I would cease to be God if with my power, my wisdom, and my love, I could not save one series. So he's basically saying, I'm going to save all my children. The murderers, the rapist, the homosexual, the child molester. Mm-mm-mm. Yes. And it makes sense because that's what love would do. How many parents you know who love their children? Because not all parents love their children, but the ones who actually do, they would for all their wrongs because of their love. That's what most of these parents got sick children do. They lie for their children to protect their children because of not because they're sick with their child, because love is protecting them. Love, that's why I said a while ago, I don't know if you know what love is. Maybe you do. I don't know. But love is something deep inside of the core of your spirit. It's not in your flesh, it's in your spirit. It cares, it protects, it forgives, it helps, it encourages, it leads you in the right direction. It doesn't lead you backwards. It doesn't betray you. It doesn't do evil to you. It does good to you all the days of your life. Not because it pretends to be nice today and then it does evil to you the next minute or the next day. That's not love. That's some kind of sick hate thing you got going on. You know, people who judge you. the next moment because you don't act the way they want, or you're in a relationship and a person break up, two people break up, and now you're calling the woman the B word, or now you're calling him a P word, you know, the female thing. That's not love. It was never love if you could do that. But that's what's happening. All praises be to the Most High Yah, the eternal Creator, who is worthy of glory, the honor, and all praises from every tongue across this land, from the humans, the lizards, whatever they call them, the reptiles, the reptilians, the angels. Well, I guess that's what they call the angels. They call them, trying to say the reptilians. They might be, you know. He said that humans, I may say this again, humans are his masterpiece. So we are our creator's masterpiece. And before they try to destroy us with their poisons and chemicals, I can see that. I can see it. Before they try to poison our food, I can see that. Yeah. Before all the poisons got into us, I can see we were the masterpiece in every way, in beauty, form, wisdom, knowledge, man, love, all that. We were a masterpiece. And those who was around us knew it, and they could not stand us for it, and they had to tear that fire out of us. And they did. Oh yeah. They tore it out of us to the point where they trying to make us look like wild animals. Long horse wigs on our head. Oh my gosh, let me go. All praises to the Most High Yah, who is worthy, 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 worthy. 3T's is here to tell you nothing but the truth. So help me, Yah. Help me, Yah. So I pray this enlightens others as it has enlightened me. And I'm willing to accept the truth. Doesn't matter what I learned yesterday. If I learned something that supersedes what I learned yesterday, if I learned something today that supersedes that, I can accept the truth. That's why I said, don't judge. It's best if we come together and all bring the knowledge, and then we can. But we probably couldn't do that because I see too many people are quick to point fingers at people, and they don't realize that the enemy is the one invoking this. Yeah, they're invoking this. So, like I tell my people, stay humble, be vigilant, because this is a high time for us to wake up, and the enemy knows it, so he's going to try to turn us against each other. This is his method. This is what got us into slavery. Him using deception and hate, and us to betray each other and to distract us from paying attention to them and then conquer us. But I'm a Judas, the one they call Maccabees. I'm standing to the end. Yeah, all praises. So all my people, I love you always. Even if you irritate me for a moment or two, I'll get over it. Yeah, I will. I love you. Have a blessed night. Oh, keep praising them, keep glorifying them, keep magnifying them, and show love to your brothers and sisters. You know, if you can't do that, then don't do nothing towards them. Period. Don't talk about them. Don't hate on them. Do not lift up negativity, because you're lifting up this demonic system that we need to tear down. Okay, so don't say nothing if you can't say nothing good. That's a powerful statement. Have a blessed night. Mm-hmm. Yep.